Hi, Chef Jeff, the Rogue Chef here, and today we're just going to do some Cat Head Biscuits. So it's a southern thing. We're going to start with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of bread flour. The bread flour will have a little bit more gluten, a bit of salt. And we'll just get in there with our hands and mix it together. 1/4 cup of, this is butter flavored shortening, and then a stick of cold butter. And I like to just use a cheese grater instead of cubing it. It kind of helps with breaking it up, and it's a little bit easier to incorporate. All right, so what we have here, see how it's mixed together. So now we get in with our hands and kind of break it up and incorporate it into the flour. And you'll want little, like pea size, or a little bit less than that size of the butter or the shortening mixed in with the flour. Now we've got it mixed together, and as you can see, there's little, about pea-sized things on here. You might ask, why Cat Head? Well, a friend of ours is from Alabama, John Siegert. He owns Branson Cerakote. This is what he grew up on, and if you think Cat Head, it's more of just the size of what they are. So they're big. These are going to be big biscuits, not your traditional biscuits. So what we'll do, I just added 1.5 cups of buttermilk. So we're just going to incorporate the buttermilk in with the flour and butter mixture. It's a little bit too dry, so I'm just adding a little bit more, about another 1/4 cup, to get the consistency that I'm looking for out of this. And also, your liquids may change and vary depending on your humidity and where you're at. So this is looking more like it. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. So it's probably like 1 3/4. This is about the consistency we're looking for. It is a little wetter of a batter or a dough. Cast iron skillet. Take a scoop. This is about a 1/2 cup scoop. I'm just gonna scoop them in here. And you're not rolling them out like a regular biscuit. These are supposed to be big, fat biscuits, size of a cat head. What goes better with biscuits but gravy? So I'm making some chorizo gravy here. So we start with a couple pounds of chorizo sausage. This is hand ground at Harder House here in Branson. And then I add a couple pounds of Italian sausage. And that's different. It has just different seasonings, and I really like the way it makes the gravy taste over a traditional breakfast sausage. So we're gonna start here by browning the meat. And I'm just gonna add some black pepper right now. But right now I'm just gonna sear this off and brown it. So I'm gonna make a little roux, and it's just equal parts butter and flour. I like using a gluten-free flour for all my roux. To me, there's no difference in using flour, regular gluten flour. In fact, with the gluten-free, you don't have to cook it out. You do not have to let it cook like you would a normal flour roux, because you don't have to cook that rawness of the flour. My gravy is gluten-free. So here, if you can see through the steam, the sausage has cooked and it's ready to add milk. So I use a mixture of a little bit of half and half. Then the best part about the gravy, use heavy whipping cream. This is roughly about 1/2 gallon of liquid, so you're looking at a 3-to-1 ratio of heavy whipping cream to half and half. So now we'll just let this come up to a boil and get hot, and pull out our Cat Head biscuits. Look at how golden brown they are. They actually feel like they're nice and golden brown, but we're gonna actually put them in for couple more minutes. So right now, you see it's starting to bubble up. So we're gonna add some of the roux, and I'm just gonna stir it in. Just do a little bit at a time, because when you use a thickening agent, it's never at its peak thickness until after it reaches a boil. So we'll just let this set for a little bit before adding any more. Now we're pulling our cat head biscuits out. We'll let them rest a little bit. See how they got big? And this is what they mean by big as a cat head. These are big, gigantic, very hot biscuits. As you can see, it has reached a boil. I'm stirring it to get the consistency. And you can go a little bit thicker if you would like. I think this is a really good consistency. It's thick enough that it'll stick on the biscuit, but it'll also run a little bit. Got my tasting spoon here to taste it and make sure it's got enough pepper and salt. See, it's extremely hot. Could use a little bit more pepper. The salt is there already from the meats that we put in there. It's got plenty of salt. You don't want to over salt, because once you over salt, you can't go back. Taste it again. And remember, as it sets, these flavors will blend together a lot better. I have some good gravy there. All right, so let's plate us up some biscuits and gravy. Really good texture. And these cat head biscuits. Take a big scoop. I like a lot of gravy. There you go. Cat head biscuits with chorizo gravy. This is good. Let's go rogue.